Welcome, everybody. It's December the 9th. Holy cow, hence the Christmas tree behind me. All right, let's do a quick meditation. Go and close your eyes. And once your eyes close, just see if you can hear your breath. Maybe this is the first time today you've had a chance to just sit still. Just breathe. Reminding yourself that the first thing in the morning is the best time to set your vibration. So with your eyes closed, just really being conscious of the inhales and exhales. Belly rises and belly falls. Notice if the mind is running a million miles a minute. And noticing if you can bring your awareness back into the now, just incrementally. And breathe. There's a visual that I think I taught last week, but I don't know if it was this class or a different class. I want you to imagine a room that's 10 by 10 in size. And you're standing in that room, and that room represents your mind. It's like a pinball machine. Thought goes here, thought goes there, and just see it. Now you're going to see a curtain, and I welcome you to stand behind the curtain. That behind the curtain energy is the observer. So behind the curtain, you're not impacted by those thoughts. You're seeing them for what they are. And just take about 5 or 10 deep breaths here. Listening to your breath as it enters and exits. And as you're doing this, I'm calling in everybody's guides, your divine support team, your angels, your ancestors, archangels, ascended masters. There you go. And so what's happening right now in these last few breaths is everybody's guides are connecting to each other's and to mine. And during this time together, whatever questions that are coming up, contrast that's coming up, and the clarity is available in that network, knowing that everybody's connected and everybody's here for the common goal of up-leveling our consciousness and feeling more love and ease in our bodies. After about 5 or 10 more slow, conscious deep breaths, feeling the love that's in this container. When you're feeling ready, gently open your eyes, coming back. Great to see everybody. Some of you guys are in the healing lab, some of you in return to self, some of you in the school container. So good to see everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I know Mondays are usually busy days for a lot of people and we're running around, but so good to see everybody. I'm going to just start with some stuff that they want to start with, then we'll open up to Q&A coaching, whatever's going on for you guys. As we get closer to Christmas, we want to up the gratitude. Okay, so right now we did forgiveness last month. We're doing gratitude this month. And in January is going to be abundance. That's what we're going to play with. And as you can see, sometimes I'll do videos, sometimes I'll just type in something. But gratitude forces you to be in the now. Are some of us find, and they're saying, some people find gratitude hard, and I'll probably do a video on this tomorrow maybe, because our society is structured as I go do X, Y, Z. I go make the money to get these AirPods. Like I'm making this up, just you know. I go do this to this. And an ultimate, for those of you guys who are in all my other containers, we sometimes talk about a concept called non-doership. And it's a bit of a mind F-U-C-K, because we, from the time we're little, we think we do everything. Got it? I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this. And that's the little I. The little I did this, the little I did this. And if you really get deeper into this work, you understand you do nothing, right? People look at me and go, oh my God, you created a great, great business. I fucking did nothing. The universe sent me, all of you guys, the universe sent me my clients, the universe does everything. I have to be in the receptive mode for that. So what sometimes the gratitude is hard, especially if you're raised from this idea that you have to go make the money to buy these AirPods. Kind of make sense? But what I want you to play with is, and this is, I'll probably do a video tomorrow on this, the idea that you have to go do this to get this is very masculine. There's nothing wrong. As a woman, I have a lot of masculine energy and a lot of feminine. So, you know, it doesn't matter if you're in the male body or the female body. But that's the masculine approach. And most of you know that right now it's the switch to the feminine approach, especially for those of you guys who are creating businesses and doing fun stuff, but healing any area of your life has to be in the feminine now. And so it's like, how much can I allow in the grace that this was given to me by spirit? Kind of make sense? How can I allow in? And those of us who are older remember when we used to walk around with a Walkman and you would like stick tapes into them, right? How much life has changed, right? And now I have like a phone and I just press a button and that song comes up and I don't have to go buy the tape and go to Sam the record man. Like, holy cow, how much the universe has changed. But that's the stuff that we almost take for granted, that the attitude of gratitude will create more of it. You'll actually train your mind to look at all the little things that you'll be in this almost awestruck place of everything you're given. That resonates. When we set up our Christmas tree a couple of days ago, our son was in town to do his driver's test, whatever. And we have this box of stuff that him and I and my husband have been putting into since he was little, like stuff he made when he was 5 years old that we still hang on the tree, stuff that he made when he was 3 years old. And like, I just start crying, right? Because there's like so much crap. He hasn't made crap since he was 12, but that's okay, right? But it's like the gratitude of this joy of those experiences. But it can happen right now, not based on the past and not based on the future. And gratitude forces you to be in the now. And it's a bit of a mind fuck for the brain because the big part of our brains are future, future, future. What do I have to do? What do I have to do? What do I have to do? And if we can be in the gratitude, because we're all sitting in front of a computer right now or in front of a phone, that's huge. That's huge. Just take that in. We all have the grace to be in front of these systems and have time on a Monday at 10 o'clock. Like, seriously? That's grace. So if we let that grace and gratitude, and they're also saying, because of the way society is raised that you have to go do something, we forget to think. Thankfulness or gratitude is like the fundamental energy that creates things. And if you read any books from like people who, have done pretty amazing things in the world, they often say to you, say in those that they spend a lot of time in gratitude. And on some level, they may or may not know that they don't do anything. And again, I've never read the Bible, but it says somewhere in there, above all, I can do nothing without my Father. And again, I'm not trying to make this a Christian Catholic God, because that's not what I'm trying to do. But I'm trying to get you to understand that we have to take up the concept that we did something to have more gratitude. And I'll say one more thing before I put up to Q&A and questions on coaching. It's coming in really loud. All of us are on a spiritual journey. Every single one of people who enter my containers are on some sort of spiritual journey. And when you're sitting there and you're just like, you're pondering life and you're like confused, and then out of nowhere comes a thought, like, oh, here's a thought, and that thought makes you feel better. You're like, oh, right, okay, thought comes in. Who gave you that thought? Spirit. Make sense? And if we can allow those moments of gratitude for like, oh, I don't have to think this way. Crazy. That gratitude will give you, because everybody loves those aha moments. Those aha moments is what keeps us going, right? Like Louise, when you were in that container on guilt a few weeks ago and you had that aha moment, that was like a massive, the universe was like, she's ready. But we have to set our bodies up and our minds up for these aha moments. But they can happen all day, every day, right? If you study A Course in Miracles, a miracle is a shift in perception. And they're available 24/7. If a miracle is not occurring, something is going wrong. Cool. Okay, they're saying to pause. Questions, coaching, anything coming up for you guys? I mean, I could keep babbling, but I'm not going to. I'm going to take a pause. We'll start with Judy. And yeah, all you do is you go to the reactions, react down below where the heart is, and there's like a hand up thingy. Yeah, Judy.
I've been so struggling the last few days, trying so hard to be grateful.
Yeah.
And it's just not coming.
Oh.
I know I have things in my life to be grateful for, but I'm not feeling it. You said something last week. I'm trying to remember what it was, but it's like if I am grateful, what was it? Something about makes me feel worse if I put somebody. Do you remember what that was? Like if I have something and somebody else doesn't, that makes me better than them.
Right. So,
yeah. But I am seeing everybody with what I want. So I am feeling so low.
Right.
Christmas is a tough time. This is my third Christmas without my husband. Dealing with my son, I'm trying to help him get a mortgage, and things are just so beyond my scope of being comfortable. Like I'm so mad at my husband. I think, where the hell are you when we need you? You know, because he would have handled all of this. It's so out of my comfort zone. I look at, you know, even like something silly, like I wanted so badly to see the Taylor Swift concert, tried everything to get tickets for my granddaughter, and I couldn't. And then I have a friend that somebody that had money gave her 4 tickets. And I thought, are you kidding me? And that's been eating away at me too. Like, I've been so envious of all those experiences that people had that I wanted. You know, my sister is I could go on, like, very affluent. So she's jetting here, jetting there. She has her husband. And I just feel like I am so struggling with this gratitude thing. And yet I do have days where I really feel it, but I just haven't this last week. And I've just felt so depressed. Amazing. I can't get myself out.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing that. It's so like real. And anyone can relate to this. I mean, it's real. It's real. It's life. It's real. Yeah, Kimber, it's like, it's real, right? Bunch of hands up. So you're not the only one, Judy. So thank you. Okay. A couple of things that they're saying to you specifically. First thing is, gratitude is forcing you to be in the now. And there's a part of your brain, what part of the ego's mind that I'm seeing over here, that's like, it's not perfect. It's not right. It's not. Can you see the difference?
Yeah.
And that's the part of the ego in you that that's been a fight, flight, freeze for a long time. I'm going to make a comment about your husband, and then I'm going to come back to you. And hopefully it helps everybody. Right now is a rebalancing of the patriarchy to the feminine, or just a rebalancing, I should say. So your husband had to leave because you're part of that uprising. And I know you know that intellectually, but it's hard to feel, hard to sit with. Because now he's saying you've always spoken for what you can't do. And I think a lot of us as women and men can relate to that. Mm-hmm. But that prevents you from seeing what you can do. And because you're like a middle to an old soul, like you're an older age soul, you're doing an up leveling in this lifetime of like, no, I can do that. And that's what this is all about for you. Okay. And I'm going to jump to the stuff with your son, then jump to Taylor Swift. And I know we've talked about this in the healing lab. Your job is not your son. And I know that's easy for me to say sitting over here. I know that's easy for me to say. Mm-hmm. Oh, they want me to go there. But why do you think you making sure your son gets mortgage is your responsibility? Breathe, 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 breathe.
Well, it's partly selfish, because if he isn't able to stay where he is right now, then they have to move further away to afford something. And I won't see my grandkids. He will have no support around him, and my grandkids won't. So, you know, they're in school, they're in sports. It would just be, for me, heartbreaking to see that happen.
Yeah, it would be ideal. It'd be easier. Mm-hmm. Do you have to, I keep saying like this pressure field. Do you have to put all this pressure on yourself? Breathe.
Well, yeah, I do, because I don't know what else will happen if I'm not there for him in this situation. And we've got so far, but because apparently they haven't signed the separation or the paperwork, there's a good chance the banks won't give them the mortgage, which we had no. It's just been a gong show. And with all of that, my emails have gone down all weekend. Like, there's just like one thing after. I thought, how much more can be thrown at me? And why is this happening? Like, I know there's a reason, but I am really struggling with it. Like,
yeah. They keep saying, as you know, like you're hitting roadblock after roadblock after roadblock. And this next, for all of us, there's a bigger picture here. There's only so much we can do. And that's a big part of what caused us to lose gratitude. Because we have, and this is, if you study Law of One, and I talk about this in both my other containers, I'm going to stick into the chat box just so that I don't lose anybody. This is from a Law of One, and I'll come back to you in a second, Judy. The first belief of the ego is that you're lacking. And because we have the idea of lack, we create sadness. Then the second belief of the ego is that we need something to feel better, which creates attachment. And then we get anger, frustration if we don't have that. And then the third belief of the ego is fear, which then creates control, which creates fear. Okay. So the idea that so if we go back to these three beliefs of the ego, and I get it, I'm a mom too. Okay. is like, I'm attached to my kid being like, essentially, if I, yeah, they're saying, keep talking. I'm attached to this outcome of X, Y, Z. Because I don't have the outcome, I'm frustrated, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one of your guides is like walking in behind your left shoulder, and he's saying, if we think we have to control everything, which then creates fear to get this outcome, there's a bigger picture playing out for your son, your daughter-in-law, the kids that we can't see right now. You can only take so many action steps, and then if it keeps not happening, is where we need to let go, and that's where the struggle is for you. Mm-hmm. That makes sense up here because of the second belief of the ego for you.
Because of the what?
The second belief of the ego, that I need such and such so that I can feel happiness and joy.
Mm-hmm.
Got it? And I'll pull this example forward because there's a bunch of coaches on this call. Like, I need 20 clients so I can feel fulfilled. And this is where the gratitude is like a mismatch for you right now. The joy is right here. So we're all going to do this. Go and close your eyes. And once your eyes close, just breathe. And you'll see the connection to the Taylor Swift concert in a second. Take a few breaths. And once your eyes close, just get quiet in your breath. Most of you have done the exercise with me where we bring in our divine support team. So if you're welcome to fast forward into that. So even if your mind thinks you're making it up, bring in your guides, your angels, your ancestors. And again, your mind might think you're making it up. I felt for a lot of you guys might have felt a subtle shift in the energy around you. A little bit more calm. There you go. Calm. Let's soften the shoulders, Judy. There you go. And the Divine Mother has walked forward for a lot of you. And she has said, she's holding a platter. And on the platter is a statement that says, it's up to me. And this applies to everybody in the class today. I want you to imagine putting on the platter this idea that it's up to me. Just put it, there you go. It's up to me. It's up. There you go. Keep putting that there, Judy, over and over again. And as you do that, another energy is entering the back of your body. And that energy is saying, I am whole and complete right now. There you go. There you go. And this is for you too, Lindsay. Keep breathing. Enters the back, saying, I'm whole and complete. And breathe. Nice, Joey. Keep giving up the idea. There you go. Keep your eyes closed. Keep breathing. Forgive me for thinking it was up to me. Forgive me for seeing this as wrong. Forgive me for seeing this as different than what it's meant to be. And just soften the shoulders down. Take a few breaths. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. Type into the chat box, how was that? As we all support Judy, because she's going through exactly what we're all going through. Type into the chat box, how was that for you to do that? Very appropriate for me right now. Very appropriate for me right now. It resonates. Emotional, relieving, calming, relieving. I'm just going to babble for a sec, Judy, before I come back to you. There's a massive shift occurring on the planet right now, which has really been a bit of a mind FUCK for a lot of people. And this is the shift to the feminine. Prior to this, it was all like push, work harder, push, work harder, push, work harder. And that's not working anymore. Can anyone relate to that? It's just not working. Yeah, welcome to the world of the shift. Got it? For a lot of you guys, it's in your upper back, because my upper back, so, and it's like, can I let go of the idea that it's up to me? How many of us have had quote unquote miracles, like things like somebody just emails you out of the blue, so like what you're looking for, something? Yeah, it happens every day if we're open to it, right? But it's us trying to control it, and this is going to connect to Taylor Swift. If you were meant to be there and your granddaughter was meant to be there, it would have occurred. And I know you know that intellectually.
Yeah.
But it was not part of the contract for both of you. But it's hard for you because it's like that out there is what I need to feel better. And that's what the ego belief system is. Okay. Because the ego believes that so that fundamental, I'm going to teach that now before they let you speak, Judy. Just give me 20 seconds. So the 3 beliefs of the ego, which for those of you in my other containers, you've heard me teach this 1,000 times. The first belief of the ego occurs because if this is spirit, God, everything that we are, We come onto the human planet in this AirPod body, and I'm alone, I'm lacking. And that separation is the core of all problems in the entire world. If I summarize A Course in Miracles into 2 or 3 sentences, it's forgiveness and forgiving separation. Because he, God, he never left us. She's with us all the time. Oh, I'm really hot. So this idea of lack is the first belief of the ego, that you're separate and that's sad. And because I perceive I'm separate and sad, now I'm alone on the planet Earth, floating around the sun, all alone, sad. Now I need this to make me feel better. So this to make me feel better is where attachment comes. And this can be anything from a Ferrari to a husband, to kids being close by, to my husband being here, to the amount of money in the bank account, to the amount of clients I have. Got it? But if this is who you are and you've never left source, if you study some of the Abraham Hicks work, what you think you create. What you think you create. So if you're not separate, you've never lacked, then you don't need anything to be happy. But and then because I need this creates attachment. And then if I don't have it, I get angry. And then because I don't have this, that creates control. I'm in charge. And Judy, I will tell you that I keep saying, do you have a granddaughter or just grandson on that couple? I mean, in those two, meaning the son and the daughter-in-law.
Yes.
The granddaughter, how old is she?
11.
Okay, she keeps coming in. And she's like, there's a bigger picture happening here. I don't know what she calls you, grandma. I don't know what she calls you. But there's a bigger picture happening here, and it's not up to you. And she's standing like right next to you right here. It's not up to you. And the bigger picture is then going to have an impact. I'm making this up to you. I'm not saying this is going to happen. Please don't hear it that way. Let's just say they get up and move to Port Moody. If you're not from Vancouver, it's like, I don't know, half an hour, 45-minute drive. I don't know how far it is. But like, you know, it's a little less expensive, wherever, Kelowna, wherever they move to because they can't afford to live in proper Vancouver, which I totally get. That is going to be part of their journey. And she's saying it to me, not her. Your granddaughter was watching. She's like, this is part of my soul journey that you have no control over. Mm-hmm. And what's, excuse my language, fucking your brain up is the idea that I need them around because then safety, control, but they're on a bigger journey. And I know you understand this intellectually, but the emotional body in you doesn't quite get that. How are you feeling? How is this sitting? And then I'm going to come back to the gratitude in a sec. How is that feeling?
Well, I get it, but honestly, I just felt like sobbing all weekend. And it's just, yeah, I guess it's my own selfishness. I want to help them. I want them to be close for me. I'm struggling too with living alone at this later stage of my life. And I it's like, well, who am I anymore? Like, there's just so much my head, and I thought I was doing really well for a while. And then this has just kind of crushed me the last week or so because in one of our conversations before, you felt I was making progress. Well, I just feel like I took like 10 steps backwards, and I'm struggling with everything. And so just feeling so sad and overwhelmed.
And what I want to say to you, Judy, and I think everyone should know this. If you don't know this is part of the journey. It's this. If you don't think I hit this, I do. I just have a zillion tools to kind of go back up. Got it? And yeah, exactly what Lindsay just said. I'll read what Lindsay just said in a second. I'll read Lindsay's right now. I feel you're on the point of a major shift, and breakthrough is the most uncomfortable part. And she's in the return to self container, and that's, I know you know that intellectually, but I'm just going to back up a little bit. And I know I always say to people, there's only 2 ways to live. One, that you're not doing the work, which is, oh my God, like hell after hell after hell after hell. And you're doing the work, but it's not like doing the work is this like pandemonium of like palaces and gold. I mean, it's this. But if you don't do the work, it's this. Mm-hmm. You get it? There's no going up. There's like little ups with alcohol, little ups with cocaine, little ups with heroin, but it's this. If you do the work, it's this. But it's this. Like if you look at the end result after a few years, this person's just like flat line down. This person is like, but what Lindsay just said is exactly it. So you make progress, and it's only the ego that thinks you're not. And I think we can all relate to this. The ego thinks you're not, and yet you're on the precipice of a major breakthrough. And I just heard the breakthrough is something like, the Christmas tree, because my guides told me to stay home today, which I'm very happy about. They're like, you don't have to go to the office. I'm like, I don't have to go. No one's coming in today. I'm going to stay home. And it's like, I understand the tree can be very, very, like, not just the tree, but the whole thing can be very, for a lot of people, which is why they told me to stay home. But it's understanding that this holiday season or early into the new year, the breakthrough that you're meant to have goes something like this. I don't need anybody except my divine. And that's what this is all about for you. And and I'm so happy you were sad on the weekend, because that's the first place the ego is you're lacking. Got it? So if I think that tree, my kid being home, is what creates joy, that's where the pain occurs. Got it? When you moved out to go to university, Judy, I'm sure you can relate to this one. It was like, whoa! But then like the next day I was like, oh, thank God. I wasn't the next day. It was like, do you know what I mean? But I'm the type of person where the emotions occur a lot before the experience occurs. And then when it occurs, it's like, okay, good, I'm fine now. But I don't know if anyone else can relate to this who has kids, they moved out, or even any other experience in your life where you think, this is going to make me happy. This is going to fulfill me. And as women and men, what we're taught is, when I have that house, when I have those kids, when I have those trees, when I have those grandkids, then. But this is a massive, like Lindsay said, massive breakthrough that says, I am good within myself. And that's what wants to nestle into your second, third chakra. So I'm super happy that you were sad on the weekend. And sure, you're sad about what's happening and all that stuff, but that's actually the tears are moving the lack. That first place of the ego, which is sadness. Kind of makes sense. And when you move that sadness, then the divine mother, and she's standing right behind you, can come in and go, you're whole, but you've got all these other thoughts, as we all do, 40 to 60,000 in a day that says, but. And that is why your husband had to die earlier, because you have to find the wholeness in yourself.
So what, now I'm responsible for my husband dying early?
No, you're not responsible. It's part of the contract you guys had. You're not responsible. It's part of the contract, the spiritual contract you guys have. And I've worked with a lot of people. I've said this to you before. I worked with a lot of people who's part women. And we always talk about how men have fought but died before women, who are going through this right now. Right. But the fundamental belief that your mother's standing behind you, she's saying to me, is that you are whole, WHOL, right now. WHOLE. How many people suffer with that? That I'm whole right now. Hands up, guys. Come on. Everybody should have their hand up. Do you get it? I am whole right now. So welcome to the club, Judy.
What do you mean I'm whole right now?
Close your eyes. Put your hand on your heart. Everyone do this. Hand on your heart. Let's all support Judy, but also support ourselves. Right there. All, and just stay there, guys. Stay there. Capital I am. The I am energy. Capital I am is with you now. The visual that they're giving me is like a V, energy up towards the heavens. Capital I am of the divine of a God self is with me now. And it's like a purple energy. I want you to imagine it's like a purple triangle going up towards the heavens, and it's connected to you on the bottom. Capital I, and there you go, there. And let that purple energy enter. Second part of this exercise, imagine what's called the violet flame, which is from Saint Germain's work. Just think of a flame that's violet. That violet flame goes to all those thoughts that say I'm lacking or something's wrong. And Judy, this is in your neck. And just like put that violet flame with all those thoughts. Let that big triangular energy of capital I am enter your body and mind and energy field. And breathe. There you go. There. It's entering your neck. Take a few breaths here and put the violet flame near any energy that says there is a lack. And after a few breaths, when you're ready, gently open your eyes. How was that? Type it into the chat box. I'm going to put in the name of a book for you over here as well. I know what it is. Put it into the chat box. How was that for you guys? Soothing, wrote Lindsay. Bald eagle just landed on the tree outside. Seriously? Seriously? Oh, that's crazy. Calming, wrote Andrea. So that exercise I didn't take it, but it's not written in that book, but the I Am Discourses. I don't know if you're interested in reading that, Judy. It's a really great book that was written by a guy named Saint Germain back in, I want to say, the 1700s or 1800s. I've recommended it to a few clients, and some of them say it's amazing, and some of them say it's so hard to read. Anyone else have read that? Anyone else have read that? I Am Discourses? Okay, anyways, it's a great book that's all about this is who I am. And the whole violet flame, I want you to play with that one. The violet flame is something that Saint Germain uses a lot, and I use it sometimes when I teach if he comes in. And you put that violet flame next to every thought that the little I am takes on. So we have the big I am, which is spirit, which says I'm not. Then it's like the little I that says I am alone. The little I that says I'm lacking, the separated I. So remember, this is the big I over here, and this is a separated I. And when you put that violet flame next to every one of those thoughts, that will help energetically, Judy, to get you out of this puddle you're in right now.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much for that, because I think you helped everybody. Can we all say Judy helped everyone? So much so. So thank you. And I need you to get that, because I don't think you do. Your question was a trickle for everybody. So I know it's hard, but I agree with Lindsay 100%. You're going through something big, but there's a big breakthrough around the corner. And everybody has that. Right? So I'm sending you lots of love. Yes, Judy. Hey, Tina.
It's just a share, or a share, not just. So I'm in the return to self, and I've been having some self doubts about my intuitive coaching, and that's been resolved since last week. And what's been happening is that I've been getting kicked out of my primary email address, and the only one I can get into is Pet Connection.
Oh, that's funny.
Yes, and so then I have to go and do this whole rigmarole to get back into primary, and then a day or two later, it zings back out into Pet Connection. And then today I discovered, because I've written all the people I'm going to call, like I'm going to send them emails, and I found my email that I had made as Tina Intuitive Coach, and then I found the website that I'd already started for it that showed up as well. So it's just interesting. Once I made the commitment, all this stuff started to show up and everything. So it was just I just wanted to share that. It was kind of an aha thing. I thought, are you trying to tell me something about Pet Connection? And after the third time it's happened, it's like, okay. So anyways. Yeah.
Love that. Thanks, Tina. Any comments, questions? How are you guys doing? So today's class seems to be about 3 beliefs of the ego. So anyone else, any other questions, comments before I teach on that just for a second? Before I go. Anything else coming for anybody else? Okay, so the hands up. Okay, I'll just teach about that before we wind. The ultimate falsity is that you are alone. So if you only took one piece from today, the one piece I'd like you to take, there is a divine I am that actually follows you around all the time. Your God self is there 24/7. And so let's just say you're creating a business. I'll make this up. It's almost like a visual wants to, because you know how we talked about a few minutes ago, how the masculine and feminine shift. I said, some of you guys running into that. Somebody put your hands up. Whether it be healing, creating a business, feeling better, healthier, happier in relationships, it's understanding that you're not alone. The visual I love to have is that there's an energy standing right behind me that walks in step with me 24/7. So every step I take, she takes it with me. Every step I take, she takes it with me. Every step I take, she takes it with me. And when I had a down tip, like what Judy was saying, and Tina, you must have been in a down tip last week if you're like, I'm going to start, that's a down tip. The best things about down tips for everybody is there's only one way to go. When you're doing this work, it's only one way to go. Got it? And it's how I think about it, Judy, is I think about it as the universe has brought something, like it's sort of like the universe is trudging something up for my awareness. Got it? It's like bringing something up for me to move through, right? And anyone like, does anyone get more physically sick, like coughs, colds, that kind of stuff during this time of year? Some of you? Okay. I'd love you to think about it as just an energy that's moving. That makes sense, Louise? It's just an energy that wants to move. And Deborah said yes as well. and ask yourself, what is the energy that wants to move? Got it? And then it'll move faster. Is that making sense? Because again, my world, I mean, don't forget, I spent a long time as a family doctor. In Divi's world, things just don't attack you with an illness. Again, that's Divi's world. So when I get sick, I'm like, okay, well, what is this energy trying to move? What is it? Does that resonate a bit? Especially we go into the Christmas season. It's like we're all like, oh, I'm going to get sick. Rather than thinking yourself as a victim for getting sick, what energy wants to move? And then it can move a lot easier, a lot more smoother. And then we have these calls on Monday. You can ask me, I can tell you what I'm getting. But for Judy, it's like, I'm not alone, wants to move. Got it? Can we grab Eve's comment? Can we go through the distinction between apathy and surrender and how to be more in surrender? Apathy is not giving a shit. Surrendering is, it's a great question. Apathy, to me, they're totally distinction. Apathy to me in this question is like, I don't give a shit. I don't believe in anything. It's just like, whatever. Does that make sense, Eve? Versus surrender is, I to myself, again, I'm paraphrasing. I've not read the Bible. I'm sure somebody knows how this is spoken in the Bible. I to myself cannot do anything. Father, I cannot do anything on my own. Kind of makes sense? Even in the old, I'm jokingly calling the olden days, where it's like push, 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 push. It was, there was still spirit in there all the time. But now we're being asked to like more surrender into spirit will bring this for me. Does that help a bit? Other comments, questions as we wrap?
Can I ask what if you just want to feel badly?
Awesome. And then about what's happening for your son. Is that right?
Well, and for me, like
totally.
I'm thinking, I just want to feel sorry for myself.
Beautiful. If you don't think I let myself go there, I do. Okay. And then when I go into that, imagine like a sinkhole, I go into, and at a certain point, it's like, I don't want to be here. I say to myself, and I visualize myself kind of, this is a sinkhole. And Judy, I actually think your question is probably the best question I've ever been asked, to be honest. We have to go into the sinkhole. Like what a lot of people do is they bypass it. It's like, I don't want to feel that because that's not a good way to feel. Bullshit. If you feel that way, let yourself feel that. But then at a certain point, my spirit comes in and says, do you want to stay here, but what is less? And then what I do is I kind of say, here's the sinkhole, and I'll see myself stepping out of it, like that visual I use where there's a 10 by 10 room and I'm stepping behind the curtain. At a certain point, you'll just know when. You'll know when to step on the outside of that sinkhole. And the more you practice this work, the faster you get at stepping out of the sinkhole. Kind of make sense? You're like in it, and then it's like, okay, I'll be mad for a minute, 2 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, 5 hours, 10 hours. In the past, it would have been 50 hours. That's, and now I'm going to step out of it, and I'm not going to make it wrong. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Like I think I've just been feeling sorry for myself in so many ways and in different parts of my life. And I feel like in the last year, I have come a long way. So this is like a huge sinkhole, and so many things, like little things like talking about the emails. I can't access any of my emails all weekend, and I don't know what's going on. And I'm thinking, okay, what is this trying to tell me? I'll drop something and it'll break. And I think, oh my God, everything seems to just be falling apart.
Yeah.
And then I think, so then I spiral, I'm all alone. I'm, this and that. I'm just like, you pathetic creature. Like,
so what I would say to you is, it's like, allow yourself to sit in the sinkhole. And then when you feel ready or you feel guided, right? And I guarantee you all the emails collapsing and all that is part of like just letting you sit in the sinkhole. But then when you so there's an exercise that you can Google if you want. I might teach it on Wednesday when we're in class together. And it goes, which thought feels better? And it's an Abraham Hicks process that you can Google and find it if you want. But I'll probably teach it. I'll teach it on Wednesday. Just help me teach it on Wednesday. It's a really simple technique. And it's basically, you write down the thought, and it goes, the first thought is, I can't believe my son is, I'm making this up, Sam. I can't believe my son is moving away. And then you just keep writing, I might be moving away. I can't believe I'm not going to be next to the kids. And then you write the emotion next to it. Sadness, fear, anxiety, you just keep writing them. Okay. And then out of nowhere, you pause, then you're like right away. And then you put your pen down, and then you go, okay, you close your eyes. I want the thought that feels better. The thought that just came into my mind is, it's not the end of the world. Then I would write, it's not the end of the world. And then the emotion you get from that is, to me, it's ease. And then you just see what next thoughts come in. Now, what happens after you write that next thought? If it's not, I will teach this on Wednesday, by the way, because they're telling me to teach it. I haven't taught this in a long time. I'm writing it down in a second. Which thought feels better. So then let me just finish that. So then you go, it's not the end of the world. And then the emotion is ease. And then you see what next thought comes out. Now there's one of two things that are going to happen in this next moment. The next thought might be, I'm going to be okay. Then the emotion is, yeah, more ease. Then the next thought might be, we'll get through this. The emotion is ease. Or the next thought might be, oh, fuck, I got to do something. And then I'm back into anxiety, which is fine. Then keep writing them. Got it? But what that technique does is it gets the 40,000 thoughts out of your head and onto a piece of paper. Got it? And then you can catch those little thoughts that go, it's not the end of the world. And how thought momentum works is thought 1 becomes thought 2, becomes thought 3, becomes thought 4, becomes thought 5. And the how thought 2 comes thought 3, the content of them comes is by magnetism from the emotion. So the emotion that I put out magnetizes the next thought. That's how it works. That's how we can have 40,000 thoughts a day on the same feeling. Got it? And they're telling me I will teach this on Wednesday because it's been a long time since I taught this. But with that first thought of, I can't believe my son might move away. This is horrible. I can't believe my daughter-in-law did this. You see how you're in a storm because the emotion is feeling anxious and despair. So all the thoughts come in to match the emotion. They're banging. Can you guys hear the banging? Sorry if you can't. My apologies. They're doing construction in our building. They come in to magnetize from that emotion. Got it? But then when you went to it's not the end of the world, right? And let's just say you can hold it for a minute. It's not the end of the world. You just stay in that emotion of ease. Then the next thought can come in of, I'm still going to see my grandkids. The next thought might come in of, yeah, it won't be that bad. Like you see, because right now, what I'm doing is I'm sitting into that new emotion of ease. But the more you do this, then you can have those 40,000 days of the thoughts being anxious and shifting them to more ease. But that exercise of which thought feels better is a really, really powerful exercise to start to shift that. But it helps you to write it out and, and just like, it's called pivoting, like pivot from that downward emotion to the upward emotion. But you're not going to do it right away because you've had 40,000 of like the downward. Does that kind of make sense? But I'll teach you on Wednesday. I will. Okay. Sounds good. Just going to read these last 2 comments, then we'll close off and hopefully we'll stop banging. Okay. Kimber wrote, I can be in gratitude, but I get lost between waiting for spirit to come in and not knowing what to do, balancing masculine and feminine. I totally get it. Do you want me to respond to that, Kimber, or just leave it as a comment? Okay. Fuckers. I'm joking. Can you unmute yourself? I can be in gratitude, but get lost between waiting for spirit to come in and not knowing what to do between balancing. I'll speak more to that before I speak to it.
Well, I mean, I've been reading that radical forgiveness, so I'm really kind of in it, and I get it. I can be in thankfulness and gratitude easily. I'm so grateful for everything, but I'm also not working very much, and so I'm just sitting here going, what am I supposed to be doing? Like I can kind of wait and listen to spirit and what's my life supposed to look like, and I'm also really more masculine than being able to like sink into this just. And I understand there's a shift, but I'm still,
I totally get it.
I've got a lot of anxiety around it all, and I have for a while. So I'm like, how you said something earlier, like, yeah, because I know that I'm in the thankfulness and gratitude, the spiritual journey. I don't know, I'm just a little lost and I'm struggling.
Okay, stay in your body, stay in your body, stay in your body. Bring in the masculine for a sec. I think of it like an opposite of the side of the coin, because there's still like, and I think I've said this before in workshops, but I know I have trained a lot of people, as most of you know. I apologize about the noise. And I've seen, because the type of work I do, because I'm flipping people into their intuition, a lot of people who wake up their intuition and are more in the feminine. I just had a call with a friend of mine who is this. She'll sit in her feminine and she knows she's a really powerful intuitive. But she'll just sit there and does not have a website, does not have business cards, does not have anything, no Instagram, nothing, right? I'll just wait for people to come to me. You've got to have the masculine, which is like the placeholder for the feminine to pour in. Got it? So again, apologies about the noise. If you went into the masculine, what is he asking you to create or do next?
Well, I mean, my circumstances, so I'm a little bit confused about it. I like what I'm supposed to do next, honestly. I don't know that my life I mean, I need to step out into the world more.
Exactly. Okay, stay there. Bring in the masculine. Don't be afraid of it. Bring in the masculine. Put him down right next to your right hip. Put him there. I need to get out in the world. That's too airy fairy. Get more concrete. Ask him, what do you want me to do? Ask him that one question. Just stay right next to your right hip. Right there, you had it.
I mean, honestly, I get nothing.
Okay, got it.
I mean, I get don't do anything.
Okay. Good. Because I know you're in the return to self container. Put him there. Because that's your head too. Put him there. What action, make it more specific. What action step do you want me to take?
Yeah, I mean,
You're blocked.
I know I'm so blocked.
It's right in your right kidney area. Okay. So,
Yeah,
because
it's totally blocked.
I apologize, but I'm going to be really blunt with you. It's like really airy fairy. I know that I should get out there more. That's kind of like an airy fairy response. I love you.
Well, I mean, that's just me. My like blunt. I
Yeah,
need an Instagram. I need a website. I need a, blah. I need all of that stuff, and so I get that. But I'm leaving in January to go back to Colorado
fine.
for
No,
so then I think all of that is sort of not really worth the effort of putting all that in until I figure out what Colorado looks like. Or I don't know.
I
That
love you.
this may be more than I maybe need more help than this. My question is really balancing feminine and masculine.
Yeah. What they're saying apparently is like, you can see that there's a fear of that's not letting that intuition come in as to what the next step is. And that fear, remember, just so you guys know, Kimber's in my return to self container, and there was some fear about her doing a session. Then out of nowhere, she sent a text in the group chat saying she did a session. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And it was like she overcame a massive hurdle. And I was like dancing up and down inside my body when I got that text. That hurdle you hopped over is the same hurdle that's above your head like a storm cloud right now.
Yeah.
Ah, you just got that.
Yeah. I mean, I get it.
Don't go into your head. Don't go into your head. Don't go into your head. What was the energy that caused you to shift so you could do a session?
I mean, I just say fuck it. Like I just whenever I need to do it, I get angry and then I'm just like fuck it. Like I have nothing to lose. Like just do it and just get it. Yeah.
Okay. And the reason the anger works is because the fear is running it, right? So fear, anger, love, and joy here, right?
Yeah.
So let yourself feel, because you're really frustrated of just sitting and not doing anything. That was what your question essentially entailed. That's why I want you to meet yourself so you could talk.
Yeah.
Because the airy fairy feminine, it's just not working for you. You need, and that's why you can't, I can see him sitting right next to your right hip right now. That's why you can't hear him. So I need you to access a bit of that anger and move it. Come to the city, go boxing with Lindsay.
Okay.
Seriously. Access it. Access it so you can hear it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm too masculine already is my problem.
Except you're blocking yourself here.
Yeah. I obviously this is a big block because I don't get it.
Because your right kidney keeps contracting on me.
Yeah, I could feel it.
You feel it? Yeah, it just keeps. So it's this is like pre this lifetime that's holding you in fear.
Yeah.
Got it? So whether it be body work or moving shit with Lindsay, like really like, do you know what I mean? So you can move it. Yeah, Lindsay's like, give it to me. Right? So it can move. Not it?
Okay.
And it's not here. Make sense?
Yes. Thank you.
Thanks, Kimber. Lindsay wrote, I don't know if this helps, but I'm in a big transition in my life. I moved homes. Congratulations. Trying to figure out my career. And just acknowledging that I'm uncomfortable and it's meant to be uncomfortable is fine. I used to freak the fuck out, not just freak out. I used to freak the fuck out, but now it's like, now it's like Where'd it go? I can acknowledge that I'm uncomfortable, but also grateful and trusting I'm not in control. Love that share. Thank you for that. All right, I'll see if there's anything else. I don't think there is. Let's double check. All right, let's close our eyes and wrap, and I can hear the rest of the slides. Go to close your eyes. Take a few breaths in and out. Take the things you learned, and if something didn't resonate, throw in the garbage. Take a few breaths. Let's take a bit of a gratitude for this container, gratitude for everybody who's on school, who's sharing the energy and the commitment with ourselves. After a few breaths, when you're ready, gently open your eyes, coming back. Just a tiny share before I wrap. I got a message from somebody who's in the school. So this whole idea of the school community is to just share information, teach, help, coach, guide. It's not to peddle anything. It's just to teach. Okay. One of the people in the container messaged me that somebody's trying to get her. This person in the school messaged her to like enroll in some business thing. If you're running into that, let me know. It's not that I'll kick that person out of the community, but I don't want, because some of the school communities have a lot of people who are peddling their stuff. I don't want that in this community. You have that too, Kimber. So just message me their name, and I'll message them. And if you had it to check, please message me their name. I wasn't going to say anything, but they told me to message it when I was doing the meditation. So it's not that like you can only do so much when you're running communities like this, but at the same time, if it's the same person, right, we want to be mindful of that. That make sense? Cool. Amazing, guys. Sending you guys so much love. And I hope you have the most amazing day ever. Have fun, guys.
Thank you.
Sure.